My guest today is a VGC rookie by the name of Joe Russell, also known as 2Cake. Hailing from the UK, Joe has only been playing for less than a year, and despite this has gotten top 16 at his very first international tournament, EUIC 2024. His Regidrago team and run has caught the attention of many players, including Justin Carris, who took Joe's team to top 4 in another heavy hitters tournament at Orlando Regionals. Joe's run is inspiring and goes to show that there's more to placing at a tournament than their experience alone. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joe Russell. Joe.
Thank you for having me. No,
yeah, man. How's it going, dude?
Well, no, it's great. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so I am heavily inexperienced. But I'm just going to try and have a fun time. But yeah, no, this basically all comes down to EUIC, really. Like, one of the most insane things I think I've ever done in Pokemon. I've not really been doing it for long, but it's...
Yeah, man. Top 16.
It's an achievement that some people never do, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
Top 16 at an international tournament like that is insane.
Yeah. I don't know. There's lots of things I want to say about it, but it's just... It will never hit me how insane of an achievement that is, because it just happened, and I didn't really think about it. Now it's like a month away and whatever, and now it's like, who cares? Who even is Joe Russell anymore? I had my 5 minutes of fame, and now we're back to being a nobody, which is much easier, to be honest. Less pressure.
Definitely a lot less pressure for sure. Like,
100%.
Something of an accomplishment like that probably won't ever hit you until like years later, where you're like, oh yeah, remember that time? Remember that time that I like top 16 this like international tournament? I mean, maybe you'll eclipse it, right, someday.
Not gonna lie, it's probably gonna hit me next year when I go like X7 at the next international, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe it was hard. Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I did differently, but shit. Good job, me last year. This year I'm washed. That'll be me next year. But for now, I'm happy. I've done well.
We're gonna ride this horse into the sunset, man.
Oh, 100%. It's been everywhere for like a whole month. Like, no one's heard the least of it. Like, it constantly comes up in conversations with my friends, family.
By the way.
Yeah, I earn a bit of money playing a child's video game. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's always what I say.
In the money.
It's a funny flex. But yeah.
It's a flex. I'm sure you pull it out on first dates too. Just like, oh, by the way, I'm internationally ranked at a Pokemon tournament.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No, like I recently got a girlfriend. Like,
oh, congratulations.
We've been dating. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
We've been dating for like just over a month now, and I only just brought up the fact that I play Pokemon competitively because I can back it up with $3,000.
You're like, look, I got 3K.
And now it's like hustle, and now it sounds cool. Right. Whereas before I was like, oh god, what's she gonna think of me if I say this?
Yeah.
Why are you into Birmingham every week? Well,
dude, I've been there, man. I've been there, telling my girlfriend, like, yeah, I'm gonna start a Pokemon podcast. I'm gonna start a Pokemon YouTube channel. They're like, what? What are you doing?
No, but understand money. And they're like, what?
It's yeah.
All of a sudden, the light bulb goes off. But yeah.
So.
It's interesting.
Tell me about. So you've been playing for how long? Like playing seriously.
I started playing. So I started going to locals and like actual events in October of last year. So we're talking like 6 months ago, wow. Which is crazy. That's sort of like the weird part of everything. I first started touching competitive online on Showdown, like everyone does.
Right.
Back in like, I'd want to say just before the restricteds in Gen 8.
Okay.
Like I had some weird team where you'd use, God, what would you do? You'd have, it was a really cool tech because you could Dynamax Max Guard with a Trick Room Mon and then have Lipard use Copycat. So you get priority Trick Room because it'd be +1.
Oh, okay.
And it was such a cool tech, and I used it constantly, and it never did well because everyone knew it.
Yeah.
It was like well known, but it was so cool to have like Trick Room that went before everything else, and it wasn't great, but it was fun, and that's what I used to do online. But I never really thought about doing locals or stuff. I thought it'd be a bit too high of a reach. Like, I would watch the Pokemon streams and stuff, but I would never really consider going to locals. I just never really thought it'd be something that I could ever do well in, achieve, and really, like, it felt like a really high ceiling, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like something that, like, you know what, I struggle to get out of 1200s on Showdown. I'm never going to be able to win a round in a local, let alone a regional, international, worlds, whatever.
I'm
right?
sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. It's the same track we all go down. It's just whether we choose to split the path or not, really. So,
right.
Yeah, after a bit of playing, I decided to message my, like, best friend of all time. We both love Pokemon. Like, hey, you know we like Pokemon, we've known a lot of Showdown. What if we just go to a local? What's the worst that can happen? We found out what the worst... We found out the worst, don't you worry. We found out the worst. But it was really fun. We went to one that was like an hour away from us by like buses, so because we don't drive, so we had to get like transport.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We found one that was really close, and I like everyone who's gone to their first local always experiences this. You go to some weird, shoddy little like hall or something, you're like, this feels dodgy.
Yeah.
Like, what are we
you're like,
doing here?
do I have
signs,
the right address?
Nothing.
Like, is anybody else going to be here?
Yeah.
Are you here for the
and
tournament?
You see like a bunch of other like grown adults just standing outside this like school hall, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm in the right place.
Like,
I feel like I've done something wrong. But you go in and it's all done properly, and you know, you do that, and I end up using some horse shit with Sinister and Komodo and Moltres. It was inspired from like some Wolfe video I watched, where he was like laddering with like belly drum Snorlax with Sinister and stuff, and I was like, that sounds cool.
Vaguely familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, but instead of using Snorlax, which is like maybe a good mon, I used Moltres, which is a terrible mon, and I loved it. Moltres was fun to use, but it went 1-4, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, it's set in stone that, okay, yeah, this is kind of hard. This is maybe it's kind of what I expected. I never really thought I'd do well, but I would have liked to. But yeah, the best thing that came from that though was the friends that I made, because even from that one local, like the very first one, I made friends with this dude who, like, nowhere near my age, but we just like clicked like that.
Yeah.
And like to prove that, we went to a local, I think a few weeks after that, and it was like miles away. We had to do some crazy journey on some buses, and it took us like 6 hours to get there, so it was stupid. And that one guy that I met was there, and it was our second time ever meeting. And after the whole journey, we learnt that we live really close.
Oh, nice.
And he drove there, so he offered to drive us back.
Nice, okay.
And from then, we've been like really close friends. And by the way, that was the best road trip ever. That was so fun.
I bet.
Like the amount of just karaoke we did there with all
okay.
different like Pokemon songs and stuff. It was the best time ever.
With the Pokemon songs?
Honestly, yeah. I did not realize how many of those themes I knew, like off the top of my head.
Yeah, dude.
Like
when you
I
grow
could sing
up,
the whole like first 3 gens. Like
Yeah.
I had no idea.
when you grow up, like
proves.
just like listening to them, you always surprise yourself with like how much it actually like really sticks, right? I know like a lot of the Johto ones like by heart.
Yeah. Like, I mean, when I was watching it, it was like Gen 4 at that time.
Okay.
But for some reason, like Gens 1 to 3, I know all of those like themes. And like, did I just like watch all of them? Like, did I binge them all before? I must have, but I don't remember it. Mainly because I'm stupid, but also because, you know, like, shit happens when you're a child. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, and that's the best thing from locals. Like, I've been doing locals for 6 months now, and it's phenomenal, the people you meet. Like, I don't know, you see like lots of dodgy things going on in like the wider circle of like gaming communities and Pokemon communities and like, I mean, other stuff as well. But like, in the close-knit communities, some lovely people.
Oh, absolutely.
And in like these first 6 months, like, I mean, like I've managed a group of friends of like, I don't know, we've got like a whole Discord server now with like 40 people or something that we've all just met from locals.
Yep.
And we now like team build together, do like little tournaments by ourselves, and we just meet up like, you know, after a tournament during like regionals or whatnot. And it's so nice.
Yeah.
And it's honestly the best thing about locals. I don't really care about how I place, but
how you place at locals anyway,
brilliant.
right?
What's that, sorry?
I said how you place at locals. You don't care that much about like how you place there.
No.
Like what was that? So how long had you been? So you've been going to locals for how long before EUIC?
Before EUIC, well, it would have been about 6 months, yeah. So
Okay.
like,
Sure.
my first one was October, and yeah,
Wow.
since then it was April. So
Yeah.
yeah, about 6 months, and I've been to a few. Like we started going like weekly because there was quite a lot going on, and we really got hooked. Like it started getting really addictive.
Yeah.
And at the start, I don't know if this is something that lots of new players have, but I felt like every week I had to make a new team. Like if I didn't do well, new team. If I did well, new team.
That's
it didn't matter. I didn't want to fall out the meta.
I feel like Regulation F was just like that though. Like there was just something happening, like something brand new happening every single week, and it was like impossible to catch up. Like
100%.
One week, like Golden Gold, Regidrago was really big, and then Raging Bolt, and then the Gouging Fire teams, and then just balance eventually figured itself out, and it just Regulation F just kind of felt that way. In my opinion.
And then you feel like you're finally getting like a close touch on it all. You're like, you know what, maybe I understand it. And then some moron brings Boulder to Utrecht, and all of a sudden nobody knows what's going on, and everything's out the wazoo. Or you know, you're never safe in Reg F, but that's kind of what I liked.
Right. Tell me about like your mindset, like going to EIC. So like while you're there, right? It's a big tournament, the biggest I think we've ever seen. So far. So far. I'm sure somebody will top it. Maybe NIC will top it.
NIC should top it realistically. It looks like they might do very similar ticket sales though. Like their first wave was the same number, so it might end up being like the same-ish number, but for the most part it probably will be bigger, I imagine. I think EUIC was 975 people, which just beat out. What was the last one? Charlotte? Was Charlotte the last biggest one? I think. I think it was something like that. It was one of the American regionals.
Yeah. I think Charlotte was the biggest regional before EUIC. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it was the biggest tournament. I'm pretty sure, like regional or worlds or whatever. I think it was the biggest one. But yeah. Anyways, my thought process going into it was like, well, before this, I had done 3 regionals, well, 1 special and 2 regionals, being Liverpool, Dortmund, and Utrecht. And Liverpool was my first ever regional. I went 5-4 with some team I made up with Metagross, and I went 5-1. I was really feeling myself and crashed instantly, and I was like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because it was my stamina. My stamina just dropped, and it was like...
Yeah, man.
It was terrible.
Like stamina during the tournament, or like after like a crash. Like did you crash after?
During, because I think after I mean the longest tournament I'd done before then was I think 6 rounds at a local, like going like you know like cut was like 4-2 or something like that. I think that was the longest tournament I'd ever done, and it proves it, because after 6 rounds here at Liverpool, I was 5-1. And I was like, okay, doing well, I'm happy. And then from then on, I end up going 5-4. And it's like, well, damn, reality. But you go to, I think going to your first regional, you really kind of learn, wait, this isn't unachievable.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's very achievable.
Yeah, like it kind of brings everything down to earth a bit, because I think before regional I was like, bro, I'm gonna go like 3-6 on a good day.
Sure.
And that's fine. And then to go positive for most of the day, I was like, well, I guess all the day. Felt like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, like I know this is hard, but
Dude.
maybe there's a chance that I do well in the future. And yeah, so then going into international, I'm like, right, let's be realistic. This is harder. I don't really, like, I've never done it, so I've never really experienced it, but I just know it's supposed to be harder. So, a phenomenal result for me is just matching my best. If I go 5-4, phenomenal. I'd be so happy with that, because I've never done better than it. And if I match that at such a high level, how can I say that's a bad result? So, yeah, that was my aim. My aim was just to go positive, I guess.
Just go positive, and instead you top 16, right?
Yeah, by accident.
By accident.
Sorry, no. It was a very weird tournament, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, every round felt like there was a story behind it. Well, almost. They're like in the middle, there wasn't really, but like at the start and the end, there was so much going on. I mean, round 1, I placed against, at the time, the number 1 Argentinian player in CP. He had like 800 and something. It was insane. Wow.
That's actually insane. 800 CP.
yeah. Sebastian Escalante.
Okay.
He's
that sounds
ridiculous.
familiar.
I never heard of him, but my friend Oscar was telling me like, yeah, that guy's Argentinian. He probably got paid to come here. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he's like probably sponsored.
Well, now
and
I'm
like,
scared.
all these things. Yeah, right.
You don't want to hit that round 1, and we had a very close set, but I ended up losing. So I'm going into round 2, 0-1, which is great. And I'm like, okay, let's just try and win the next one. So I sit down at my table, and I sit across and I'm talking to him like, hey, how you doing? And like, hope all is well. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm having a rough day. My game isn't downloaded. I'm like, what? Huh?
What do you mean your game's not downloaded?
Yeah, my game isn't downloaded. I'm like, wait, what do you mean?
Yeah,
so
what does that mean?
Like, his game kept crashing to the point where he had to like delete it and re-download it, and it was like something to do with the DLC or something. And basically, because the internet was so bad at the venue, he didn't have it downloaded in time for round 2. So the round starts, we wait 15 minutes, it's not downloaded, and I just get the bye, and I'm like, right, okay, sure.
That's the
screw
oddest
it.
thing.
Yeah. And then I know it also happened to him the round after that as well. So the dude took 4 rounds just to get his Switch to work. Dude. And then, to be fair to him, he then won his next 3. So kind of brought it back and then dropped. So
right. Dude, could you imagine though? Like, could you imagine having that happen to you at like EUIC? Like, you prep all this time.
Yeah.
Like, you probably
also I mean, for me, it wouldn't have been as bad because obviously I live in the UK,
right.
so like I didn't like come far. But for him, he would have like traveled because I think he was Italian, so he flew over like a little way at least, and so it's like flying all the way over here and then being like, oh, you can't play, sorry.
Oh
it's
man,
like, well, that sucks.
That sucks.
And then
that's heartbreaking.
And that's not what the end of the story is. Like, so we're going into round 3, right? And then so. After my round 2 ended so quickly, I went to find my friends, and they were in, like, the social area where there's a bunch of, like, cameras and stuff, and we get approached by someone from the media team of Pokemon, and they're like, hey, we're doing something for our, like, Instagram thing, for,
cool.
like, TCG, and we want you in it. Not knowing who the hell we are, they're just talking to random people they think would be interesting. And so, we end up doing this, like, thing that's on their Instagram now, which is quite funny. I think it's also on their TikTok.
That's fun.
It's a very weird video. We had to basically guess what Pokemon card they were describing or something.
Oh,
and as someone who doesn't know TCG, I had no idea, to be honest, what was going on, but I had a fun time, and it took a little while, and I was worried, like, because this is in between rounds, like, I've got round 3 coming at some point, and so that ends, and I'm like, God, wait, our pairings are up. I'm like, okay, I gotta run. I run all the way to my table, sit down, I realise that everyone's already sat down, and as soon as I sit down, Josh comes over to me and be like, yeah, so you're late, so you're getting the game 1 loss.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, that is great fun. That is brilliant.
You're just like,
great,
thanks Pokemon Company, I appreciate it, man, thanks for making me late.
Yeah, great. And like, I they always do it so early. Because I was like right on the cuff, and I look around and nobody's started their games.
Come
on. So it's like, it's a bit annoying,
Yeah.
but it's the rules. I wasn't going to be like, no, I'm going to fight this.
Sure.
Like, I don't want to make a scene.
No.
I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, I think it's so cringe when people like slam the table out of frustration. Everyone looks your way. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I never want to make a scene. I'm a calm guy. So
Sure.
I was like, whatever. And then so I guess we go straight into game 2, and I just lead wrong, lose the game, and then we're going 1-2, round 3, and it's like, well, shit. Oh well, I guess that's the tournament. Oh well, it doesn't matter anymore. And it's a weird feeling going so bad at a tournament, and I kind of justified it by being, oh, it's internationals, it's fine. Like,
Right. Yeah. You find some way to like rationalize it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Real quick. Let me pull up your
Yeah.
team while we're talking about it, since we're talking about the EUIC already. So real quick, just to show, it's kind of where I'm at. You can see my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Cool. So we are at EUIC. We're looking for Joseph Russell right here, number 12.
Yeah.
So you're talking here, Sebastian, right? You lose to the Argentinian guy.
Mm-hmm.
You get the bye here, and then you get the loss against this Sergio Perez guy.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay.
So we're going into round 4, 1 and 2, and it's really not been my tournament. But my friend convinced me of a new mindset which I had to take, because I was known as someone who would really get under my skin about a loss. Like, if I lost, I would be like, oh, all these things I did wrong. Like, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have, what I should have done. And my friend just told me, look, it's in the past, don't worry about it, it's fine. And like, just focus, think of it as it now getting interesting. Now, it's now going to get hard. Like, now it's like you're closer to going out. That's fun. So it's all like a reverse psychology of it. Like, maybe it's getting more fun now. Maybe there's more risks involved.
Yeah.
And it's a funny way of looking at it. But to be fair, it did make me help me just sort of relax, to be honest. Because I kind of just sort of felt, well, it doesn't matter anymore. I felt no pressure going into these rounds because I kind of considered it over already. So I was like, I'm just going to try and win the next round.
Yeah.
And I do. And I don't really think anything of it, because I'm like, my tournament, I'm still considering myself, my tournament's over. And so I just think, well, I'll just try and win the next one. And that's what I went for every round. I'm just going to try and win the next round. Just try and win the next one. Don't think about anything else.
Don't think about
just going to win the next round. And try my best.
The mindset, like when you're in competition, right? When you're like, well, because I know that like the last time I went to a pretty big tournament, like something that I cared about, right? Once I got a game loss, I was like, okay, well, the pressure's off, right? I'm obviously not going to go undefeated. I'm just going to go. The rest of these games are just going to be, it's like I'm playing on Showdown. Like, I'm just going to play. I'm going to zone in, really like lock in, just kind of like get my mind in the right spot. Like, just competing itself is a lot of times, like once you fail, it doesn't matter what you're competing in, right? If you're a power lifter and you fail like one lift, you're gonna you'll be back. Like,
it's
okay,
over.
it already happened. You're not worried about it. Like, you're a rock climber, you fell onto the pad. Okay, it's over. You fell. Now learn from it and keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
I think because I've got a lot of friends, and I know other people will as well, where it's just like they take so much weight in a round loss, because
dude, if you let it get into your head,
X and O became an X and 1.
If you let it get to your head, like if you let every loss just like punch you in the face, it's gonna put you down, and you're just gonna lose every other thing.
You should never have expectations for like just doing well, or like not losing or something, because anyone can lose.
Yeah.
I mean, I think EUIC was probably the best representation of that, because the best record going into Top Cut was 13-2.
Oh, I noticed that. I noticed that, like, as I was going through this, like, So first place, right? Nils Dunlop, or you're talking about Tim Edwards? Who are we talking about here?
Well, I mean, there's a few people.
Sure.
But like, there was like 3 or 4 13-2s, I think.
Yeah.
That went into the top cut. And it's like, even the best of players, like we're talking the best players in the world,
Yep.
they're going to lose 2 rounds in this tournament.
Yep.
And I think that proves that they can go on from a loss and not think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a perfect mindset to have. Just be like, sod it, it's a loss, whatever. I'll just win the next one.
Yeah.
And just, I think that's a lot easier than thinking, oh, what I should have done. It's in the past, forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do better. And like, I don't know, other people think of it like, oh, well, now they're going to get easier. But I don't know. I wouldn't, like, don't ever discount your opponents.
Nope.
You know, like, they're always going to be hard.
Yeah. You cannot underestimate your opponents ever. That's like the number one rule of failing everything. Like you start underestimating things and then you make mistakes. And then who looks crazy?
Yeah.
Right?
And then it gets even worse, you know, you're like, oh, why are you such an obvious player? Or whatever. Like, you know, it's just like, you've got to just move on. It's like that for a lot of life, let alone Pokemon.
Yeah.
But, you know, just stop thinking about it. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, think less,
Nobody's
act
looking
more,
at you
right?
after a round loss, you know?
Yeah.
Nobody's like, oh, I can't believe you lost. That's so embarrassing for you. Like, nobody cares. Just move on.
Yeah.
It's fine, it's whatever.
The more you draw attention to it, the more it's like, dude, like, why are you so focused on my things, dude? Like, maybe focus on your game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's the story that, you know, you're your worst critic, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only person who's really annoyed about this is you. If you stop thinking about it, nobody's gonna think about it. It's fine.
It's true.
Just get over it, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's sort of the mindset I had going into all these rounds, and the next few rounds were really not really easy, but sort of like they were straightforward. Lots of them I just won by like 2 games. It was pretty convincing, and then we get to round 8. Now round 8, I'm 5-2, and I'm still like, well, I mean, if I win this one, best ever record I've had, so it'll be really cool. But I'm honestly just really happy getting into round 8 with 5 wins. When my aim was to get 5 wins, I'm like, well, sweet, I can lose the next 2 and not even care. And something weird happens this round, and thankfully I'm really calm because of these 5 wins. But just before we go into our round, a Josh comes up to me and is like, hey, can I see your Switch? And it was really random because we'd all sat down.
Okay.
The round has started, and then they just like want to take my Switch, and it was very weird. I don't know why they did. It may have been just a random check or something, but they flick through my teams and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to take this for a second, and I'm like, right,
Yeah.
okay,
For what?
so this was very weird. So what ended up happening was they had gone for like, God, it was like 30 minutes or something, because people had finished their rounds before they even came back, and it took forever. It took them, I don't know, it was way too long. And they come back and they're like, right, so what happened is that when I first made this team, or well, I say first made this team, when my friend gave me this team, because we built it together, he gave it to me for Utrecht. That is where this team came from. We originally used it at the Utrecht Regionals, and my friend who gave it to me originally gave me a rental for it. And so I had the rental on my Switch still from like a month ago.
Okay.
And it's the exact same team, like down to the items, down to the mons. The only difference was the EVs in my Ogapon. And
I could see that.
I didn't even realise it was there.
Yeah.
And so the head judge comes to our table, whilst most people are like done. Like we're one of the last tables to finish, and we haven't even started. And they're like, right, he told me that. He told me all this, and I was like, oh God, I know what's gonna come. And it's like, normally we would DQ you, and I'm like, what? because I'm surprised that I'm not getting DQ'd, to be honest, because I knew like, you know, this is quite a big deal because they can't verify that I wasn't using this second team, and so like, but like they just gave me the benefit of the doubt. I don't really know why. They were just kind of like not like, they were just like, you know what, you probably didn't know about, and I didn't. This is all true, but like, so we're going to give you a game 1 loss. So I went into round 8 with a game 1 loss right from the back, and
wow.
During all this time though, I was waiting. I was talking to my opponent Corey. Got to know him. Lovely guy, brilliant guy. Love him to bits. He's such a nice guy. And then he kept cheering me on into day 2 as well, which was lovely to hear. And that's actually where I met Casper as well, because Casper was sat next to me.
Okay.
And that's where I got to hear about his team and stuff, and that's why I'm here, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, got to meet him. He's a very lovely, forward-going guy.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
We just sort of laughed about it.
I love that.
But yeah.
That I also got a chance to meet Casper, and I had him on the podcast like last time, right? And we got to talk about all kinds of stuff about his Iron Ball GU. Like, Casper's the best, dude. Casper's the best.
Absolutely, love that guy. He's such a just nice, welcoming guy, and like it was quite funny because whilst he was playing his opponent, like the 4 of us, like Casper, me, Corey, and whoever Casper was playing, I can't remember who, we were all just sort of talking during their set. Like, they didn't really care, so we just had like a fun conversation.
Yeah. And
then the head judge came before they finished their set, so they got to like lock in and like focus up for a bit, which was good. And then yeah, I was sat there, and my opponent felt bad because he was like, you know, he didn't want to win that way.
Sure.
And I was like,
no one does.
Whatever happens. It's like, because he was nervous, and I was telling him, why are you nervous? The worst thing that can happen to you is that you don't get an automatic win.
Yeah.
Like, I was all nervous because I could get DQ'd.
Yeah, that would suck, man. After all that too.
Right, exactly. And I was like, look, it is what it is. It's fine. Like, I can still finish 6th for it and get a brilliant performance anyway, so I don't really care. And then ended up being probably one of the best matchups for my team, and so it was a very free game, sadly. Very nice. Which is part of the luck of Pokemon, to be fair, just getting a good matchup. But yeah, with that, Corey just didn't really have an answer for my team, and it was a fairly straightforward round, to be honest. And then yeah, I thought that was the end of the drama of day 1. You know, I can just go into the next round. I'm 6-2. I can just lose and be happy. I don't care. It's all good. And then I get paired against a really good friend of mine. A really good friend of mine. And I'm like, well, this feels terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it never feels great to go.
Because Jamie and I, we met at locals. That's how I know basically all my friends at Pokemon. And we had actually played in a local the week before, and we were both using the same teams. In that local, he beat me in Swiss, and then beat me in Top Cut as well. And so I was like, this is not going to be fun. But because he beat me twice, I had generally gone to my friend who I built this team with, and I'm like, how do we beat this team?
You're like, hey, like, he's my friend, but I still got to win this.
Well, yeah, because if I play someone else with his team, then I want to know how to beat it. So we made a game plan for it, and it worked perfectly game 1. We did amazing game 1. And game 2, I call out his leads, he changed it up, and then I changed it up too, but then kind of got like the actual game wrong in terms of the game plan and stuff, and it didn't work out. Then game 3 I managed to fix it up and just barely scraped by, beating a really good friend of mine. I felt so bad because I knew he really wanted the day 2, really badly, because it wouldn't have been his first time day 2ing an international. Oh, well, but it was just your turn, man. I think he did it as a senior, but I don't think he's done it as a master. I think he's only done it as a senior. But it would have been it wouldn't have been his first time. He just really wanted to get back to that level, and it felt so bad knocking him out like that. And yeah, it took a little bit of time for us to sort of, I guess, make up in a way. Really? Did your friendship take a hit? Obviously I didn't hate him at all, but and I don't think he hated me, but I think he got really depressed about it because
Yikes, dude.
he was so close. And I mean, my friend Jamie, he went 5-0. He went 5-0 to go 6-3, and that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, you're so close to it, and you just barely don't cross the line, and yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Sure.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks so much. And yeah, he didn't take it too well, but he managed to recover by the end of it, so he could congratulate me for my end result at least, which was good. So obviously we're good friends now, but it was scary at the time. But yeah, that's like how I made it day one, and I just kind of went by the process that you just have to try and win the next round, and that's all you should be thinking about.
You always have to just kind of take it one game at a time, like regardless of like in Pokemon, obviously, right? In the context of Pokemon, it's like, okay, I lost a set, like maybe I got crit. It's unlikely to happen again, right? How many times does that happen? The crit chance, I think it's like 1 in 16 or something like that. One in 16. I think it's 1 in 16.
I don't know. I don't know what the percent, like the rate, the ratio is. I know the percentage is like 6% ish for like a regular crit. Yeah.
So, like it's unlikely to happen, right? But like the best you can do is to just kind of keep going, man. Like getting and that's something you just learn through competition. That's something that you just have to learn through, and
you just kind of got to push through, right? Like you've got to. It's all about like if you win this round, don't let it get to your head. Just try and win the next one. Don't think.
Just like, oh, I'm cooking now, dude.
I'm not far. I only need 7 wins. I'm at 4. It can happen. And it's like, calm down. You're nowhere near.
Yeah. Like just, you could easily lose the next one, but you just have to do everything.
If you're at 4 wins, try and get to 5 wins. Don't try and get 7.
Right.
You know?
Right. Like, yeah. You can't think, oh, I have to get to 13. I have to get like I have to get to the 7 wins. Like, nope. You have to get to 1 and then 2.
Like I had another friend who won his like local PC, and it was amazing. It was so cool because he was known for always getting the points to make cut and then bubbling every time.
Ah, dude, that's the worst.
Which sucked. He was known to be the bubbler.
Yeah.
And then this tournament, he went like 4-1 or something, guaranteed cut, and we're like, damn, something's different about it. And he won the PC, and it was amazing. It was insane as well because he went into sudden death. Was it in the finals? It was something like that. I don't know. I went to sudden death twice actually. I think that tournament went to sudden death twice, which is I've never gone to sudden death and I don't want to. But it's crazy. Watching something like that is the most intense thing ever.
Yeah.
And long story short, he won the PC, and he came back to the next time they held a PC, and he felt the pressure of like, well, damn, I won the last one. I have to win this tournament, and it's kind of like you shouldn't be putting like that much pressure on yourself. You should just.
Dude, it's hard though.
Play.
It's hard not to put that kind of pressure on yourself. Like as somebody who also feels the competition in like pretty much everything, right? Not just Pokemon and like other facets of your life. Like it's so hard not to sit there and think, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that, or you know, 100%. Like they're doing this, so I should be doing that, and it's so hard to get out of that mindset. It's really difficult.
I think people are naturally competitive, right? Like you want to be the best.
Sure.
That's just kind of, it feels good to be better than others. Like it's selfish, but it's true. Yeah. So, you know, it's natural. But yeah, long story short, he didn't even cut that tournament. He wasn't even close, I think. And it was just kind of like, well.
Yeah, man. The pressure will get to you.
Yeah, it's just like you've got to just try and go slow and do it. And that's sort of how I think everything should be taken in terms of Pokemon. Just play your game. Don't worry about it. But
so let's talk about more about like your actual team. So I know that some people have like reached out to you and like wanted to get the paste and stuff. So let's pull it up real quick. I think I have the paste here. We can take it on Showdown. Oh, yeah. But can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So walk me through maybe some of the decisions. So like you built this yourself, right?
So, well, no.
Okay.
Not really. So In Liverpool Regional, I had already decided that I love Regidrago. I love that guy. The way he hits everything so strong.
Sure.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
And it was right into the start of Reg F, I'm pretty sure. And I was not brave enough to bring it. I just didn't think it would be good. I didn't think it'd work. And I brought like Ursaluna stuff. It was very similar to what Nick Donnelly brought in Charlotte. With like a few changes. But essentially, one of the teams that did really well was this team. It wasn't, I don't know if it was exactly this team, but it was at least very similar. I think all the items were the same, the mons were the same. Maybe some different moves and terrors, but as far as that's concerned, it's a very similar team. And I believe that was Roberto Parente who did that at Liverpool. He did very well. And me and my mate decided, yeah, we like that team a lot. We really like
it's strong. It's very strong.
To see Drago do well. And we looked into it. We built it, and we didn't reach out or anything. We decided we'd want to build this up from the ground up, and my mate basically kind of made it all by himself in the sense that he started it off and he gave some spreads, and we started off with mainly like all bulk in DD, some bulk on it, Urshifu, and then like all offense on Tornadus because it's Sash, right? And then our Drago
I didn't even notice
like,
that
enough
actually.
speed. Well, yeah, so it's basically there just to deal damage to all these grass types because they're
no, huge.
Yeah, right. And it puts pressure on like Ogerpon to Terror and stuff, so it was quite nice. And on top of that, Drago is there because in Tailwind it outspeeds any 101 Scarfmon, like base speed Scarfmon.
Yeah.
And the reason why I went 101 was because recently there was, at the time at least when we were making this team, there was some Scarf Lando eyes appearing around, and we were like, we do not want to be caught out by this, because before we were doing Scarf 100, and then these Landos were coming around to beat that. And we're like, all right, we're not getting caught out by this. So we
I'm not losing to a Scarf Lando eye, dude.
And since we built this, never played it once, so it was kind of pointless. But it was important if like that were to come up, that we would have an answer for it.
Right. It's really smart, actually. It's good tech.
Yeah, it was interesting to see because it did well in, I want to say Dortmund. There was a Lando Eye that did well, and we were like, okay, yeah, we need to give Drago enough speed to outspeed that. And then other than that, most of it's standard, and not Ogerpon is weird as hell because the original team had, I think it was 12 attack EVs, like just 12.
Okay.
And then not even all speed, and we had like 252 HP, and then some defense investment, special defense investment, because we kind of realized that Ogerpon, if we want to kill anything with Ogerpon, that like Ogerpon needs to kill, we need to Terra anyways. Like a Fluttermane, for example, we're not really killing with either Cudgel, without Terra, no matter what, because they're all bulky now.
Yeah.
And so we kind of came to the conclusion that we don't really need attack on this, because I mean, you can kind of see with this team, right? Drago and Iron Crown are probably the big hitters, because it's spread damage and strong.
Sure. So, yeah, I mean, it'll just win the game by himself if you let it. Yeah.
Right. So there's genuinely game plans where it's just, I'm gonna click Dragon Energy and follow me for the entire game.
Yep.
Deal with it, and it works. It generally works. And it's scary that people don't have answers for that. And so we're just like, you know what, we're just going to make Ogerpon bulky, because it's just going to sit there, but we want Terra Fire because it hits stuff
really hard.
When you Terra.
Yeah, you're just like, okay,
you can
well,
hit it really hard, even with little attack. we decided later on that actually 12 attack is a bit insane, so we increased it to like the next bump, which was like 76 plus, because it's adamant still. So it's like at 76 you get like an extra stat point, as if you were like 68 points in the adamant.
Right,
you get
right,
like two.
You get two extra points. Yeah.
Right. And so we're like, right, we're just gonna go to that bump, and then with that we were killing a lot more things, and it just felt so much more secure. So at that point we were like, right, lots of bulk, 76 adamant, and we are at like a weird speed stat of like 154, where we outspeed like most things that like aren't timid or jolly, and so that was kind of the game plan. Like, it's there to kill bulky stuff. And if you're not bulky, it's just going to redirect stuff, and then we're going to kill you with Drago or Iron Crown, or even Urshifu at times. Like, you know, you see the Psy Spam core, and you see Drago, and you're like, right, okay, I need to deal with Psy Spam, I need to deal with Drago. And then we just lead Torn Urshifu, and then they're like, well, damn it. It's such a basic lead, but when you see stuff like this, it's like, okay, I've got to respect everything else, and you kind of just forget it's there. And Torn Urshifu is such a strong lead still. It always will be, sadly. Yeah. It feels a bit stupid.
It forever, since Generation 8, will forever be a fantastic lead, and something. It's the next Landorus Therian. You know what I mean? Like, once upon a time, Landorus Therian was on every team, and everybody hated it. Now it's Urshifu, dude. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's so great when you just give a Pokemon no like counterplay.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely
good.
no.
Thanks,
like,
Game
oh,
Freak.
I can't protect against this thing. Okay, like ever, like not just like a move, but like all of them. Yeah, not pleasant.
It's like, I know lots of people believe the best move in VGC is Protect, right?
Sure.
And then Urshifu just doesn't.
It just completely nullifies it. Yeah, it just completely nullifies it.
He just doesn't care.
Doesn't matter.
And like, I don't know, Scarf Urshifu was something that I used to run a lot, like early on when I first started playing. Like, obviously, first started playing, it's not long ago. Because it felt so strong, because there was lots of Ogerpon waters at the time, which is still kind of is, and you could just freely U-turn into that spot, and it's like, what are you going to do? You can't protect, you can't follow me, you have to Terra, but you don't really want to Terra. And so it's just such an easy thing to bring on any team at the time, and it kind of just always will be.
Yep.
And that's why Urshifu's stupid.
Sometimes,
thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Like, sometimes you don't want to like have to think 5 turns ahead. Sometimes you just want to hit Surging Strikes in the rain and win the game.
Yeah, and
like,
that's kind of how this whole
mode.
team works.
Sure.
It's literally how this whole team works, though. It's like, I could think, or I could click Surging Strikes. Maybe that won't work. Okay, Dragon Energy. Expanding Force.
Yeah,
you know, we've
like,
just got delete buttons on this team.
Yeah.
And there's not one that can deal with it.
It's very cool, man. It's a very cool team. I know that other people have been taking notice and like taking it to, especially like Orlando Regionals, right? I think is what is where it got, I think, 3rd. Let me pull that up really quick.
I believe you're right. I think.
Orlando Regionals. Justin Carris taking it to 3rd place. Did he like reach out to you, or like or did he like independently come to this conclusion, or what happened there?
So, when it happened, I had no idea if he'd seen my team or if it's just something he'd also wanted to use. And then one of my friends replied to something on his Twitter and gave him my Twitter information. And so he ended up contacting me afterwards.
Dude, very cool.
Just saying like, yeah, no, like I was actually the inspiration, or at least a big inspiration for this team. Seeing my run, the fact that I am some random British guy that nobody knows. So it's like, okay, like sure, I may be like the next world champion or whatever, but even so, like, no matter how good I might be, the matter of the fact is that I am a very new player, and I've just managed to do very well with a team that wasn't really used like at all, at least in EUIC,
right.
because here's a little statistic for you. In EUIC, there were 2 Regidragos. One was
Really?
me, and one was my friend who was using the same team.
Wow.
So,
That's actually fascinating. So you were the only, like, you two were the only people that brought Regidrago to EUIC?
at least we're the only ones in the top 256.
Okay,
The only
right.
ones that are shown in Top Cut Explorer, where you can actually search for all these teams with different mons in. And I had a look at what how many Regidragos were in Orlando, and in fact there were 3 in only the top 128. So although it's not a lot, there is definitely an increase in Regidrago, and on top of that, these aren't the only teams, because there were other people using the same 6 mons as I was, who didn't even make top 256. I think I was watching the Orlando stream, and I generally saw my 6 mons twice in day 1 on stream, which was really quite cool. And then obviously it was in day 2 as well, so I was like, damn, this feels sick. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Because this team wasn't used at all in EUIC, and now it's everywhere in Orlando, or at least, it's got some sort of popularity.
Yeah.
And that felt really weird. But they all did something different. None of them used the exact same team.
That's
and
interesting.
in my opinion, that's throwing, because they were all weird. And some people wanted to use Calm Mind on their Iron Crown. Terrible idea. You just lose to Incineroar. But hey, that's your choice, I guess. Because there was genuinely games where I had to just click Terra Water, Terra Blast into Incineroar.
Yeah.
Because depending on the Incineroar, it can one-shot it. And if it doesn't, then, you're usually paired with Indeedee, so Helping Hand is always an option. And so it's usually a very free option just to click it into that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's mind games with, Ogerpon Water, and I don't know, Ogerpon Water is such a fake threat, I always just ignore it. If I want to click a Water-type move into your Pokemon next to Ogerpon, I will do it, and I don't care. And it generally won me sets. It was quite
They're
funny.
just like, he won't do it. He won't do it.
Genuinely, that's how I won my last game in day 1 and day 2.
Nice, dude.
Ironically enough.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Just calling the bluff, dude.
Genuinely, my day 2 last round was against Stefan Mott. And he was like, I don't know, there was 2 players I played in day 2 where I'm like, damn, I actually know these people, that's crazy. I'm actually surrounded by good players, and I know
where am
players,
I?
and I will never play them again. And it felt really weird, and then to play Stefan was a very weird set, because I ended up talking to him for ages just before our set, because he's just a very friendly guy. And we chatted a bunch, we made some jokes, it was very good. I'm like, damn, so friendly, so nice. We load up game 1, and I one-shot his Clefairy turn 1, and then did half to his Golden Go, all with just Expanding Force. And I kind of learned his team was incredibly weak to Expanding Force.
Yeah.
So the game ended very quickly.
You were like, well, that was fun.
And it was very weird, because I'm going to be honest, my set with Stefan Mott was very funny, because within the 2 games that we played, I didn't go to game 3, I killed 8 of his mons, and he killed 0.
Nice.
Which was very weird against a good player like him.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just don't come prepared. You're like, oh, crap, side spam. Or whatever it is,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, there was quite a few Iron Crowns around, I think.
Sure.
It was just, I don't know, maybe I was crazy, I don't know. But I generally won that game too, because I just clicked Terra Water, Terra Blast into his Incineroar next to an Ogerpon, and it just won me that set. And there was a very funny incident with Rosemary Kelly because of this, because my friends were watching the game from Stefan's point of view behind Stefan, and there was a lot of them, to be fair, because we've got quite a big friend group. And so there's 10 of them, honestly losing their shit that I'm about to beat a very well-established American player. And so they're kind of screaming, shouting, and whatnot.
So distracting.
I'm hoping it didn't. I hope it didn't put him off his game, but they genuinely looked like children.
Yeah.
Because I could hear them. I don't know if he could, but if I could,
I'm sure he could, man. I'm sure that was very distracting.
Yeah, which made me feel very bad. But like right at the end of like game 2, just before it wraps up, Rosemary Kelly goes up to them and she's like, "Hey, what's going on?" Because obviously she's looking up Stefan because they're together, right? And which is something we didn't know, and that came to bite us because so we're like, our friend's about to beat Stefan, like he's absolutely destroying him. Like he hasn't lost a mon yet, it's insane. And she was just, I don't know, she was like very annoyed but didn't want to be annoyed. She was just like, well, look, I'm happy for you guys. That sounds great. That is my fiance though, and that's the first time we learned that. So we're like, oh shit.
Like, oh my bad, dude.
And so they all felt instantly terrible.
Yeah, I bet.
And I had no idea about this. I got told about it afterwards, and I'm like, that is hilarious. And I don't know, it felt really bad being him like that.
Sure.
Because obviously, like, after we had such a brilliant, like, friendly conversation beforehand, and then you get beaten like that, and then obviously he just didn't want to talk, and I get that.
Yeah.
And I just felt bad. I didn't know what to say, and I was like,
was that like your?
I just said like, thank you, man.
You're winning in, or what was that?
But so yeah, that was our winning.
Oh,
like
damn.
we both were 11-3.
Okay.
12-3 has a chance of making cut, and so it's like,
wow,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, huge deal.
And I mean, from Stefan's point of view, he had a chance to go day 2, ends up pairing someone he's never heard of before, and maybe thought it was an easy matchup. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, maybe
least,
he did
know,
exactly.
He probably thought,
maybe he did exactly what we were talking about, right? Like where he just underestimated you.
Maybe thought like, oh, this is my chance.
Right.
And then something like that happens to you, and I totally get it. You just wouldn't want to talk.
So like, being a rookie, right? And like, and just about that, right? Like him being an established player and like other established players around you. Like what does that feel like being like at the, you know, the higher tables, right? And around, surrounded by people. Like you placed higher than Wolfe Glick is all I'm saying at EUIC. Like,
oh, I've got a funny story. So yeah, no, I mean, firstly, like, yeah, it's insane. Like going into every round, knowing that I could face Wolfe Glick, because we were on the same record for most of the tournament.
You guys finished the same record, I think, right?
Yeah. So it was like, I don't know. When I was going out to my friends before pairings, we were like, "Hey, I could face Wolfe Glick. I could face
You could.
Wolfe Glick." Who is like, I mean, as someone who like started VGC very recently, he's a massive inspiration for me. Like I found out about his channel well before I started watching VGC. I used to watch his like, I know, I used to do some sort of draft league thing in like Gen 7, and I used to watch that, and that's like when I first heard about him. Didn't even know he was like a world champ or whatever. He used to be insane at that. That's why I watched him. He like won every like league. Anyways, and so I ended up watching like more of his videos, and then like, that's sort of how I learned about VGC. And then to be playing essentially alongside him was very surreal, because obviously even in like the regionals that I'd played, I've never been around Americans before, and so being surrounded by them as well, it was like,
interesting.
Damn, there are genuinely the best players in the world in this tournament, and I am amongst them somehow. This is weird.
Yeah.
And it never really, I don't think it ever sunk in though, because I was just kind of not bothered, because after I got day 2, I was just saying to my friends, like, well, I've done more than I really should have done, and like that I ever had plans on doing.
That's better.
So I'll just try and go positive.
Yeah.
Which literally meant I had to win once. If I won once, then I got my aim. And so winning round 10 made stuff different, because I was like, well, damn it, I've already achieved that now. Fuck. What do I do now? So I just tried to keep winning. And yeah, so it was all very weird. And anyways, yeah, like the weird story that happened, right? I sit down I think it was round 12. And I sit down not really thinking about it. Didn't really look around because I kind of just don't want to like get distracted by stuff when I sit down. I just want to like sit down, get ready to play.
Sure.
And just like stare down at my screen, and like I play like I can't read anything because I'm that close to my screen.
Okay.
I look like I've got terrible eyesight because I'm just like trying to not see anything else.
Okay.
Like I want my entire like even peripheral vision just being the game.
Just like physically locked in.
Yeah. I mean, I got interviewed by like our local news, and I said that as a joke to them that I locked in to play to like do this well, and they genuinely published that, and I was like, God, no, it wasn't supposed to happen, and now that's a meme amongst my friends.
Yeah, I bet.
That I'm locked in, and I even put on my Twitter in my bio the one who locked in, and it's my banner. So it's honestly become a bit of my personality now, and
That's
I couldn't
funny.
be more proud.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, going into this round, and I sit down and I like just stare at my screen, and I don't know. I went to like get my bag, my notebook from my bag or something, and as I look down and look back up, I see the Joy-Cons of my opponent to my left, and I'm like, hold on. He's got those Joy-Cons that Wolfe has. I wonder where he got them from. They're sick. Because I realised he had like Wolfe has these like Dracovish Joy-Cons.
Oh, he does?
And
I didn't know that.
He's got the same Joy-Cons as well. That's sick. I didn't know you could buy those. And then I just look up at him. I'm like, oh fuck, it's Wolfe.
He's like starstruck.
So then I was generally, I was like, oh fucking hell. All right, yeah, here we are. Shit's getting real now. And I was like, oh. Damn! So that generally was one of the most like pressure I'd felt in the entire tournament, because I was like, damn, I'm sat next to Wolfe Glick.
Yeah. A world champion.
Insane. A world champion. But only the 13th best player at EUIC, so frankly not even that good. So
frankly, just a scrub.
What does it mean to even be a world champion?
Just a scrub, dude.
Might as well only play for 6 months. Nah, I'm kidding. Dude's really good.
Yeah, no, he's insane.
But yeah, that was weird. That was cool. And like, I looked at him, he looked at me, and I was like, you know, no, I'm not keeping eye contact. Instantly just went back to my game.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna lock in now.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus up now. And so that was generally where I was like, oh god, I'm gonna lose now. I just felt like I was going to lose because I had this pressure of being set next to Wolfe. But I won, so that was cool. And I mean, I ended up beating a guy. That round I beat the guy who ended up finishing like 7th and actually made cut, which is crazy. So it feels good to beat someone who got into cut. But yeah, and then like I ended up talking to Wolfe again because... So after all this had happened, after my run, whatever, I went to pick up my prize packs, because in top 16 you get half a booster box of packs, which is quite cool.
Okay.
And so I went over there, and there was, for some reason, there was a dude waiting for me to get my packs so he could pull me over to get an interview with our local news. That
oh, cool. Yeah.
And I was like, right, okay, sure. Because he was like, yeah, no, the Sun newspaper want to interview you, which is very weird, because I didn't know, like, obviously, to an American like yourself, the Sun probably doesn't mean anything, but to a UK person, if there is a UK person watching this, the Sun is a very big news article. It's, like, one of the biggest in the UK.
No kidding.
And so, to then do a Pokemon thing is very strange, and I didn't know they did.
Do you have a link to that? Can you send that to me?
Yeah, no, I can, of course.
Let me open that up. That's fascinating.
And so they did an article of me being a very new player, and even why they called me over there. They had no idea how long I've been playing. They just called me over because I was the top UK player in the tournament, which has also never happened before.
Okay. Sure.
Which was quite cool. but yeah, and they talked about how I'd only played for like 6 months, and I'd won 3K somehow, and I don't know, their whole thing was like, you can make money from Pokemon, isn't that crazy? And it's kind of like, oh, I don't know, I don't really know who it was for, but yeah. The sentence starts by saying, if you can get to it, no, the one above that.
Oh, okay. He just claims he just locked in.
He then claims he locked in. And he ended up winning the next, like, 9 rounds. And it's just like, take it seriously, please. Like, it wasn't supposed to be. There was another part they got wrong as well. Because, like...
Oh, yeah?
They were asking about my... They're asking about, like, Regidrago in specific. And, I thought they were talking about this plush that I had. Because I had this like Regidrago plush I was taking with me everywhere.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, my plush is like an intimidation tactic. I put it on the table, they're scared of them. But then they put it in the article, like, the whole point Regidrago's on my team is because it's an intimidation tactic, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know what that means. So yeah, it was a very weird news article. I don't know why. It was funny, and I'm glad it's there, and it's quite cool to get on the news.
Yeah.
It's only happened to me a few times before, but it's just, yeah, it's cool to get on the news, especially.
Oh, here it is. I played a lot of similar teams with Regidrago as a brilliant Pokemon. It works as a great intimidation tactic.
Yeah, it's just not what I said. It's just not what I said at all. But hey, the news will write what they want to write. So
yeah, they're like this is for a different audience who doesn't know anything about Pokemon, so they're just gonna see they're gonna see the name Regidrago and think, yeah, that sounds intimidating.
I mean, the reporter who took this interview still responds to my Twitter. So when I shout this out on my Twitter, they're probably gonna watch this and probably go through all of this.
Nice.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I would really want them to. That'd be so fun.
I hope they do, man.
But no, it was a very fun interview, and she was also very, very nice. And yeah, no, it was very weird because as I went in to get this interview, I walk past these tables and I get sat next to Wolfe Glick because he's taken an interview before me.
Right.
And it's like a much longer interview because he had his own article, like, just for him.
Sure.
About stuff. I don't know, I didn't read it. But yeah, so he was there for a while and I just had to sit there just listening to his interview for quite a while. I didn't really mind. It was quite cool.
You're just sitting there, just like looking at your watch, just like, all right, man, like let's wrap this up. I got games to play.
Yeah, but then I don't know. He said something stupid. He was like, I don't know, like they asked him, oh, what do you think the best Pokemon in the format is right now? And he said, Incineroar, baby, like literally like that. And I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. I burst out laughing. He stared at me, and I was like, right, okay, yeah, no, I'll be quiet. Sorry, no, I didn't want to. But no, I think he was quite happy. He made me laugh. And then I talked to him for a great matter of like 5 seconds. As I asked, good job on today. Oh, I said, good job today. And he's like, thanks. I was like, great, okay, cool.
Sorry, later.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. Conversations just aren't happening, I guess. It's fine.
Yeah. You do kind of have to wonder.
He goes to have an interview with like someone
like
else.
So he's been playing even longer than I have. Like I started playing in like 2014. That's when I was playing VGC, and he's been he almost won Worlds in 2012. It was him and Ray Rizzo. So like imagine doing this for that long, right? Doing this for that long. Like I do kind of wonder what he's like what's in his head sometimes, right? Like doing it for this long.
Yeah.
Obviously he's monetized it fantastically. He's got his channel. He continues to get results, but like I guess you kind of have to
being a world champ is his brand, right?
But the only people that you can compare it to though is like chess grandmasters. Like what do they do? Right? Like because Pokemon is compared to chess all the time. I think if you talk to anybody who takes it seriously, who like plays the game to any sort of serious level, they'll compare it to chess.
Yeah.
Where it's very like
I see it. Yeah.
Where that's the only thing you can compare it to as far as like what do people do once once you get to a grandmaster level, like could you imagine? I mean, like there's obviously like could there be grandmasters at some point? You think? So there's like a masters division.
Well, I think. I don't know. Like, what would that mean? Like, would you have to have like a certain number of like victories under your belt or something?
Why not?
I think it would be too. It would be too elitist, though, right? Like,
I mean, it's an elo game. Like, so I mean, we're already doing it on Pokemon Showdown, right? On Showdown, you can see who's rank 1 in the world. People watch the elos all the time. Mm-hmm. They go up. They go, they go up to like the 2000s, and then it resets.
I think it's definitely something that like the community could do, but like as far as Pokemon's concerned, I feel that they're just like, I don't know, they're the type of people to be like really inclusive and stuff. Because like if they wanted to do that right, they would do tournaments where you had like a certain like CP threshold or something. Like people were saying for like,
I mean, isn't that
EUIC, like you should only be able to sign up if you have like 150 or 200 CP or something, just so you get like the good players or something.
I'm pretty sure that's how NAIC used to be. Like, seriously? Yeah, like you used to have to, like, have a certain CP range to qualify for NAIC. I'm almost positive. Like, I could look it up just so I don't like put my foot in my mouth here.
No, go for
like it. NAIC qualification. I can't find it quickly enough, but
don't worry about it.
Just for the sake of the editing later. I'm pretty sure you used to have to like qualify for NAIC. Like you had to get a certain CP range to actually go there. And
I guess it's similar to Worlds, right?
Yeah. That's exactly how Worlds work. You have to have a certain CP to qualify for these kinds of tournaments. And like imagine a day where like right now the oldest Pokemon players are like in their 30s, maybe pushing 40.
Yeah.
Imagine a day where if Pokemon continues to go and it's like, I mean, where's it gonna go, right? The digital age is upon us, right? Digital currencies around, digital assets. Or a real thing, like people collect skins on games like crazy, right?
Oh God, yeah.
So that kind of business mindset, if Pokemon's gonna keep going, and I think they are, and I'll tell you why in a second here, but if Pokemon's gonna continue to go for the next 10, 20, 30 years for competitive Pokemon, right? Because people are invested. We're talking like six, like we could get 6-figure caps on prize money. Like you could realistically see that, right? You could realistically see the price pool continuing to jump up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally see that, to be honest, because it's like, I mean, it's grown so much just in the last few years. Like it's been ridiculous. Dude, increase in players.
When I was playing VGC seriously in 2014, I did it with I was in like a college, like a collegiate kind of a team. It was like me and like maybe 20 other guys. Some girls that were playing together against each other all the time, going to regionals. We went to like Phoenix and Salt Lake City and San Jose, like a few free regionals around the Southwest United States, right? And at that time, like when I got top 16 at Phoenix regionals, I beat 150 people, right? 150 people was a regional. The only person I lost to, I lost to some random, and then I lost to Gavin Michaels. Gavin Michaels was there, and I lost to him. His Mega Mawile sucker punched my Nidoqueen and 2-shot it, and I specifically EV'd this thing to live that, and it just got a roll. He got a high roll twice, and I was like, dude, okay. I even spored his Salamence like turn 1, and he like lost his mind. He was like, what the hell? Anyway, like that was the only guy I ever lost to at that regional, but that was 150 people. With like no prize money, like no online signups. Like this was a Stone Age compared to where it is now, right? But you could totally like we're now talking like 1,000 people at EUIC. We're talking we could see like you can see tournaments for like Pokemon the card game and games like Magic the Gathering. Like look at League of Legends, right? Looking at like real eSports and Pokemon people take this seriously, right? You're seeing like VGC players starting to do coaching. You're starting to see people like really take this game to another level, and I think it's because like people like my age, I'm almost 30. I'll be 30 in like a couple weeks. People my age and a little bit above, like Wolfe's probably a little older than me. Are like monetizing this, right? They're making a whole business out of not just YouTube, but like coaching and branding, and like look at me, I'm making a YouTube channel and a podcast, right?
Exactly.
We're seeing
you're one of the others monetizing.
I could see like I could see VGC going to like we could one day see a Grandmaster like division where you have to like have a certain elo range, whether Pokemon makes elo or not. They might. I mean, maybe it's an accumulation of CP over time. Say 1,000 CP.
Yeah.
You hit 1,000 CP and you're a Grandmaster forever.
It'd be interesting. Maybe it'll probably be like if they ever do something like that, it'll be like a few different like ways to do it. Like if you win a regional, then you may get it or something, or like you get amount of CP in a season or something like that.
Maybe.
It'd be weird. I don't know. Pokemon's like been made to be such like an inclusive game, right? Where like even the newest of players can go and compete with the best.
True. I mean,
like,
you're a testament to that, right? You're absolutely a testament to that.
True.
So it's interesting to see where it goes, to see where it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, like, in the sense where it, like, applies to me, I guess, like, I would be one of those players where it's like, potentially I could have, beaten some of these great players, but just because I'm new, I'm not allowed to, like, that's something I don't think Pokemon wants to do.
No.
I think they just, like, will keep doing what they do. Like, maybe they'll do, like, more, like, sort of, like, sub-worlds things, where it's, like, a CP threshold, I could see that. But yeah. I don't know. It's a weird.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but like I mean, imagine doing it like so. Like if guys like if I had been playing this whole time, so 10 years, that'd be me playing VGC for 10 years. I took a big break in between, right? But someone like Wolfe or Aaron Zhang or somebody like that who's been playing for this long, to still be, I don't know. It's interesting to see where it could go, because the Pokemon kids are aging up, and like there really could be a Grandmasters at some point, because they're not going to quit. You think they're going to retire? No, absolutely not.
No, they get too much money.
They win tons of money.
They don't retire.
They win tons of money. I mean, nothing. They're not going to be billionaires playing Pokemon, but when you monetize it through sponsorships, through YouTube, through the actual prize money, I mean that we're talking multiple six figures.
I mean, if you look at like prize money from like internationals like 2 years ago, it is nothing compared to what it is now.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
Like it's ridiculously small, and like,
dude, tell me about it.
Considering how much it's improved by only this much, it's like insane. And like, if you just expect it to increase by that much, like we're talking six figures.
Easy.
In a couple of years.
Easy. Like next year. I could see. I mean, have they announced what the prize money is for Worlds this year?
I think they have. I think it's 25K.
25K.
I think it's the same. Or it might be 30. It might be 30. I don't think it's much more than it used to be. I think it's like 5K more than last year. I think. I might be wrong.
50K. Oh no, that.
50.
That's for the TCG.
I think that's
my bad.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's for the TCG.
Yeah.
What is it for VG?
And I mean,
for VG it's 30K. It's 30K for first and 20 for second. Which is still a lot of money, dude. Coming in second and you're getting 20 grand. Dude, imagine winning Worlds and just like putting a down payment on a house for it with it. Like obviously you're going to get taxed. You'll probably see half of that. But either way, that's a lot of money, and that's way more than it used to be, like by a lot. Like people used to like get scholarships for winning Pokemon tournaments. Not even like actual cash money. Like I'm talking scholarships, because they were just not of age, right? But we're like in our 30s, dude. We're like in our 30s. We have families. And we're still playing this game to a high level and talking about it just like chess grandmasters. If we're gonna take Pokemon seriously as like an esport, as something that's gonna be like something adults play, like there's got to be something. And like to make just one more data point for this kind of thing, right? Look at, and this is kind of a teaser to my video for that's coming this week. Is like, look at how much more care there is in Game Freak's balancing, right? So like Mega Evolution was just like do you play Magic the Gathering at all?
No, I do not.
Okay, well,
I'm afraid.
in Magic the Gathering, there's like 3 different kinds of players. There's Spikes, Timmies, and Johnnies,
Sure.
right? Spikes are like tournament players who like optimize the best strategies and like do all the math and like try to figure out the best way to win, right? You have Johnnies who Johnnies likes to play with like one very niche thing, like they'll take I would call Casper a Johnny, where he took an Iron Ball Chi-Yu and just went hard with it and got a really really good placement, right? They found a niche, they take it and they break the meta with it. That's a Johnny. And then you have a Timmy, and a Timmy just likes a Timmy is a player who sees a big 10-10 card, like a 10-10 power and toughness card, something like an Urshifu. They see an Urshifu and they're like, dude, you can't protect against this thing. Like you can't protect. I am in.
This thing's
broken as hell. I'm in, right? Like, but so.
I have to use it.
So I think there's a lot of I think Game Freak actually like took some real hard criticisms and like deep looks at like how they're treating VGC as an esport, because that's what it is, right? It's an esport. It's kind of like chess, but because it's digital, it's more of an esport, right? So they're like, okay, if we're gonna make this an actually like balanced good game that people are gonna enjoy and play for a very long time, how do we make something that's not super Timmy like? So like as cool as Megas were, that was Timmy out the butt, dude. Like
that was Timmy
as hell, right? Like, hey, what if we just make Mega Salamence even bigger, right? Or like, what if
let's make another Charizard.
Let's make 2 Charizards, dude. Like,
one's not enough.
like, what if we just make like
we'll do it Gen 8.
We'll do it. Yeah, right. Like, what if we just like make Rayquaza like Mega Evolve without the item, dude? Like, just
Mega Rayquaza is so
as much as I love Mega Evolution, it's like it's in my heart of hearts. It's like right now my best performing video on YouTube is my Mega Evolution video, and I'm really proud of that. I hope it continues to go up, but the as much as I like that, it's very Timmy, right? And then you get to like Generation 7, and it becomes very Johnny, where it's like, dude, what's an Alolan Marowak? And like, what are these like weird Ultra Beasts? Like, why are they have the weirdest stat spreads? And like Z moves are weird. Like some of them have a very niche like effect that's not damage and something. Like I didn't play during Generation 7. I was out. I was like, no, dude, like this is nuts. Megas, Terrain, Tapus, Ultra Beast. I was out. I did not play it.
I could have never.
I did not play it. I did not play it. I commend all the players that did, dude.
Imagine, right? Because like it doesn't seem that bad now.
Sure.
At least like let's just say Z moves are allowed right now. Like it wouldn't be that bad. It would be bad.
It'd be pretty bad.
But it wouldn't be as bad as it was.
Sure.
Because back then it was closed team sheet, so you didn't know if they had Z moves.
That's a good point.
You could just think, oh, I'm so safe right now, and then you get nuked by like Cresselia, and you're like,
that's a very good point. You're just like, wait,
it's so shit. Whereas like now you could at least see it, right? You could see it coming.
Yeah.
Whereas back then it's just like, I just hope you don't have a Z move to absolutely destroy me.
Yep.
Please. And it's like surprise factor, man. It's like
so.
I love it, but at the same time, nah. Now that I've actually been playing VGC for a little bit, it's like I like actually knowing what's going on.
You don't want to play Generation 7 VGC, man. It's not pleasant. Generation 8 was okay. I remember seeing the Dynamax mechanic and seeing like I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I got into it for a little while. Like when Dracovish was like the monster, I was playing some VGC then. The pandemic happened. There was no regionals. It was weird, right? But I think that Generation 9 is when they actually went super spike mode, where they were like, okay, you know what? Let's talk about VGC for a second, right? Let's talk about it as an esport. Everybody needs an open team sheet, because like coming with the most wacky ideas that are just gonna like, ooh, haha, how funny, like you're not prepared for this like unexpected Z move. Like for me, the litmus test is always Heatran. What's Heatran doing right now? In Generation 7, it was running like a grass move, and it ran the Z Crystal to like hit water types, right? And it was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that your Heatran could just have a grass move. That's crazy. But now everything's telegraphed. It's like, okay, you know this thing's Terra Grass. You know that it's got Terra Blast. Like, do not bring in your bulky water, right? You know that like you know these things are coming, so you can read the team sheet. You can strategize, and there's things that just don't work anymore. At least not consistently, as much.
Yeah, I mean, like Smeagol is now.
Terrible, isn't that crazy, dude?
Before, he used to be so good. I was actually so excited to have Smeagol. I was like,
no,
cool things you can do with it, and it's like, but people know what you're gonna do, so it doesn't matter.
You think that way because you've never gotten dark voided by a Smeargle, dude.
Oh Lord, thank God they fixed that. God,
like, you
like,
feel
they nerfed it twice as well. They didn't need to nerf it twice.
Sure.
Because they stopped him from being able to use it right, and then they also made it like 50% accurate. So like even Darkrai's like shit.
That's too bad.
And, like,
it's too bad for Darkrai for sure. But that was the only way to stop that. But that's what I'm saying, right? Like Game Freak or TPCI, whoever's doing the balancing, they are actually looking at this and they're like, yo, how do we make a good competitive environment? And it's just like where VGC is gonna go from here is like I can't imagine it. But we're gonna see like 50K next year for world tournaments. Like it's only getting more competitive. Easily, the tournaments are getting bigger. There's more people like joining in. So like it's getting pretty serious. So like if you as a rookie coming in, and that's what that's why like when we talked about making this podcast, I was like, okay, you know, you've been playing 6 months and you got a top 16. That's how I felt when I went to like my Phoenix regional and I got 14th. I think, did you get 14th? You got 12th, right, or something? 12. I got 14th. I was like, dude, everybody, and there were a couple of top 8s in. I had my record. I was 6-2. And I bubbled out, and I was like, dude, if I had won against Gavin Michaels, that's it. I would have been top 8, and I could have maybe taken it with my Nido Queen.
But no, I mean, I had those faults as well. At the end of my EUIC,
they haunt you, man. Let me tell you.
No, like the one time I lost in day 2 was against a team that I really should be beating, to the point where I lost to it. And it was a very good player. Like he finished day 1 8-1. Like he was a good player. I lose to him like quite convincingly. It was pretty bad for me. And then I play who I think was his friend, because they had the exact same team, moves, items, everything. Obviously can't see the EVs, but they had everything else the same. And I'm like, right, okay. And this is next round, so I'm like, right, I need to beat this, and I feel like I should be able to beat it because it's a good matchup for me. And so I beat him 2-0. I absolutely destroy him because I'm like, all right, now I figured it out. It's annoying that I could have just done that the round before, and then maybe you know.
You're like, oh, there it is. Duh. Okay, duh. I missed that. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it was annoying because it's something that I should have known how to beat, but I hadn't played it all of day 1. I just completely didn't even I just forgot the line. Completely forgot how to beat it, and as soon as I lost to it, I was like, and then I figured it out instantly, and it was much easier. And I hate when that happens, but at the same time, I just keep convincing myself I should have never got 12-3, so I should not be complaining about not going 13-2. Sure. 12-3 is good. Let's be humble. Let's just take our 12-3 and be happy, thank you. So no, it's good.
What was I gonna say? The reason that I decided to make a channel this year, one I was turning 30, and I was turning 30 this year, and I was like, well, if you're gonna do it now, right? But
True,
I also had, I saw what regulation F was gonna be. I saw like Ogerpon come out. I saw like Raging Bolt and Gouging Fire, and I was like, dude, like these Pokemon are interesting. Like everything can terrestrialize. There's no megas anywhere. There's nothing that's like super centralizing. There's all kinds of different archetypes. Yeah. It's not Mega Kangaskhan every turn. It's not like getting Z Crystal to death every game. Like it's not it's not what it used to be. And I was like, okay, dude, I think VGC might be in a good spot right now. Let me jump back in after not playing for like 5 years. Like I've only started playing VGC again relatively seriously again this year. Going to locals and like, you know, playing on the ladder and like actually caring and trying to like understand the meta. And now like I'm doing YouTube, so I have to be on the current events. But Regulation F was just such a good metagame, and I'm honestly kind of sad to see it go. Like,
So what brought you back with Reg F? Like, why didn't you come back earlier? Like,
I was waiting. So I was waiting for every Pokemon to be out. So like the Paradox Mons, the Ogerpon, everything except the Terapagos, I guess. Urshifu was back, right? The home Pokemon, Ursaluna. Just seeing it all come through. I mean, sure, I should have played through all of it, but I don't know. I wasn't there mentally. Something about seeing Regulation F. Oh, you know what it was? It was Portland Regionals.
Right.
So Portland Regionals, the very first regional of Regulation F. One of my good friends from college, from that time when we were playing, Colin Hand, he was like 5-0 and then 6-0 and then 7-0, and the dude got like day 2, and I saw his name on stream, and I was like, dude, does anybody have Colin Hand's phone number? Like, I need to get in touch with this guy. Like, I haven't talked to him since college, and I was like, dude, I need to like call him or talk to him and be like, dude, you're day 2ing. I'm watching. Like, this is insane. Congratulations. Like, this is crazy. And he was one of the very first gouging fire players, like the breaking swipe, the breaking swipe booster energy. He was one of the very first guys to bring it to a regional. This was like Portland, right? In my opinion, like I'll definitely have him on the podcast at some point, because I want to talk to him about, like, because he, in my opinion, he pioneered that thing, and he's not getting the credit for it. But because nobody knew how to play against it at the time. So regardless, though,
I honestly, I don't think people still do. It's
annoying. Very annoying.
It's such an annoying one.
If you don't have an answer to it, it'll completely sit there while you. But and so I remember watching that, and I was like, dude, I'm back. Like, if Colin Hand is playing, he's day 2ing. Like, I'm in. This regulation's dope.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I heard a bit of that from my friends too after EUIC. Like, I don't know, some of them would talk to others and say, yeah, I was really falling out of the game, but seeing someone who, like, because lots of our friends actually started at the same time.
Okay.
Like, randomly enough, we roughly started around about the same time, and they're like, oh yeah, seeing someone who's done so well with such little time inspires me in a way to also like keep going.
Joe, it's inspiring, dude. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, you, like, seeing like when you said 6 months and then top 16, I was like, oh, dude, I gotta talk to you, because that's inspiring as hell. Like, for players who anybody listening out there who's like new to VGC and somehow came upon my podcast, welcome. But also, like take inspiration from this guy, dude, because like the experience, like, you see Wolfe and you see like the really big players, right? And you think, oh, dude, that could never be me. He's been playing for 10 years, dude. Like, how could I ever? But like, we got Joseph Russell here, who's been playing 6 months and was right next to him. Like, had the same record.
Yeah.
The same record, and just like, it's on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, there's this thing about starting VGC now, like, every tournament I've been to, like, literally every single one, I've played someone who's, like, sat across the table to me and was like, getting ready, and then the first thing they say to me is, this is my first ever tournament, and I'm like, damn, that's insane.
Yeah.
There's always someone doing their first ever tournament.
Always.
Every time. And it's so interesting to see that, like, you know, as soon as you start, you will no longer be the newest person. Like, there's always more and more people flooding in.
More and more people, dude.
And it's ridiculous. I think starting VGC now is one of the best times to do it, because there's so many different...
I agree 100%.
Yeah, like, there's so many different, like, resources you can use, and, like, if you want to get coaching, you can. Personally, I've never done it. I can't afford it, but, like, you can if you want, but also you don't need to. Like, you can just watch people play on stream, and you can just take their teams, learn how to use it, and then use that inspiration to make something. Like, you find a team that you like to use, and then you've found your play style, you find what you want to use, and I think doing something like that is just a surefire way to find an easy route in, and then it's just about conquering the fear of actually just going.
Taking
like,
action.
I went as a joke. Like, it doesn't have to be serious. Don't go to a tournament because you want to win, because you know, if it's your first tournament, don't expect it.
Yeah.
Like
You're probably not going to top cut. No offense.
No. I mean, you say this. I played a guy in Liverpool, 4-0, I think I was. He beat me.
Yeah.
And he was his first ever tournament.
Nice.
He went 8-1.
Can you imagine?
And it was his first ever tournament. Insane. Ridiculous.
But it can be done.
And it can
It's
be
been
done.
done.
And I don't know. I think you go to these tournaments, and I said it before, but you before you go, locals are locals, and they feel fairly friendly. But when you're going to a regional, it's like, oh, I'm going to a regional. This is going to be like a big thing. You go there, you've done it, and like at the end of the regional, you're like, oh, it's actually not that big of a deal.
Right.
It's actually kind of chill. And suddenly it all comes down to earth, and it's all much more like, nah, I can do this. I can perform well. Even if you go 2-7, 3-6, whatever, like, you still got some wins, and at the end of the day...
And you learn a lot.
You know, you will get better, and it's just that motivation to keep going, you know, and try and find something fun out of it other than just doing well. If the only thing you get enjoyment out of when playing Pokemon is just doing well, then I don't think it's for you, because I think your mental state will be terrible if you're not doing well. I think, you know, just find a community that loves you and takes you in. I think Pokemon's brilliant for that. Like, all my friends I've made just spur me on to do amazingly. And, like, I had a friend who did really well in Utrecht, and it was crazy to see him constantly keep winning in day 2. And we're like, damn, he couldn't make top cut. He couldn't make top cut. And then came 9th. And we're like, no! But it was so hype to watch, like, because at that point, like, you know, I went 5-4, and I was still having the best time ever at Utrecht, because I had a friend who was doing really well. And I hope I gave my friends that at EUIC, where they could cheer me on and have fun during that too. And I don't know, I think, yeah, you shouldn't make playing Pokemon the best part of Pokemon, I guess. You know? Like,
yeah. I get what you're saying. Like,
enjoy the community.
Don't get so wrapped up in the prestige of like winning.
Yeah, no.
To forget that you're still playing a game.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, no one's got any expectations for you, so just get on with it.
Yeah.
And just have fun in your own ways. That's what's most important. I mean, yeah, I think just make yourself some friends. Everyone's friendly, even if they don't look like they're going to talk to you. What's the worst thing they can say? They're not going to reject you. It isn't like a confession of love. It's just two strangers, you know. The worst thing they do is just ignore you. Oh well, talk to someone else. You'll find someone who is lovely eventually. Yeah. And honestly, it doesn't take long.
I talked to Casper about this on the podcast last time, but like VGC is a vehicle. Right? It's not like it's a game we all play, and it's something that we can share. We share knowledge, but it like brings people together in a way that like so many other things don't. Like it really for as much as like hate a Game Freak will get about its performance, or you know, sometimes like I know like the recent like signing up for NAIC, how terrible apparently that was, right? Like all that drama.
Yeah, I didn't try.
Yeah, I didn't try it. But the like for as much flack as like Game Freak and the Pokemon Company get for now being the most optimal, perfect company of all time, when they have literally like the biggest budget of most franchises in the world, but
they are the biggest media franchise. In the world.
I'm like stay tuned. Pox VGC is gonna make a video about how Pokemon is literally in every facet of your life. No, I'm not kidding. It's coming. Every single facet of your life, dude.
I mean, it needs to come. That needs to be a video. That's an amazing title.
Every single facet of your life, that I'm telling you. I'm writing it now, but it's coming.
Everyone knows Pikachu.
Everyone knows Pikachu.
They know it from age 1.
I wonder, like, it's like Pikachu and
like,
Mickey Mouse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that big.
True. Like, it's honestly not even false.
But
it's so true.
So I mean, I appreciate you joining us today, man. I appreciate you recording this podcast with me. And to everybody out there, like, thank you so much for watching. What's your plans for the future, man? Like, what do you got? What's your next regional or major?
Well, I've got to look at my next local first, which is happening in a grand total of 10 hours, which is great.
Nice.
So
To
I'm
get some sleep,
a good
dude.
amount of sleep right after this.
Yeah.
And head over to my local, because if I get top 4, then I get my Worlds invite.
No kidding.
I somehow don't have it yet.
Dude.
So
Go
if I get top
go
4,
get top 4.
Yeah.
Like, no pressure, but like,
I'm probably
you're that close?
yeah. Well, because I mean, I'm like one of the only people who didn't get a Worlds invite after EUIC, because I got 200 CP and I still didn't make it.
Wild.
Because I mean, in Europe we only need 400, right? So I'm at 370 now. So I genuinely over doubled my points by going to EUIC and getting to day 2 top 16.
Insane.
And still don't have my invite. So
you'll get it.
Tomorrow, or well, technically today for me, because it's 3 a.m. I will hopefully have my invite, which would be quite cool. And then after that, it is Stockholm Regionals for me, where I better have a team.
Stockholm?
Oh Lord.
Dude, I would love to go to Stockholm, dude. That's that. I hope you enjoy that, and like for me, go do something cool. Like go and enjoy it. Send me a picture when you get there.
I'll have a pint for you, don't worry.
For sure, have a pint for me, man. Is there anybody you want to shout out while you're here?
Yeah, I mean, just all my friends on Discord. You all know who you are. Thank you for just cheering me on throughout this time, and shout outs to all the people that I gave the pace to who end up getting their Worlds invites with them, because genuinely I think I gave it to like 2 or 3 friends and they all got their Worlds invite with the team, which is quite cool.
Very cool.
From locals and stuff, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
So that's really cool. So shout outs to them. And yeah, no, I've got nothing else to say. I just had a great time talking to you. Thank you very much for having me.
Of course, man.
And yeah, this was a great experience. And yeah. Wait, I've got a question for you. One last one. When are you going to... Are you going back to playing? Are you like playing in locals, and you're going to go to a regional?
So, I am playing locals. Right now, my I have a big boy job. like day wise. But that isn't to say that I will not be so I will not be at a regional soon. We'll see for sure. It might
Pox on stream.
Dude, Pox on stream. No, I will definitely make my way to regionals at some point. I'm gonna miss out on India and LA, unfortunately. I just can't make it happen. But maybe something closer to Worlds. It'll probably be something in Reg G. So I'll be playing a lot of Reg G. I already started. I've been enjoying it. Like personally, I'm really excited for Regulation G. Like
what are you using now?
Right now, I'm trying to make that hole work. I've been climbing. No, dude. Okay.
I'm a believer. I think it can happen.
Dude, no. Okay. So you want to hear the tech? You want to hear the tech for everybody out there? Okay. Just put Ho-Oh behind screens, dude. Just put Ho-Oh behind screens and just and bringing out, having weather screens and some sort of speed control, and your Ho-Oh will live forever. You tear a grass out of the...
Well, that sounds miserable.
Yeah, so, it's got Regenerator. So, if you are swapping in an Incineroar and swapping out a Ho-Oh or some other Intimidate Pokemon, maybe a Hitmontop or a Landorus or something like that, right? You can effectively just kind of live forever if you have a Light Clay on a Grimmsnarl or something, and then just, control... If you can sit there and play control... and control the battlefield for a good amount of turns until they're gassed out and you just have debuffs all day, you can make Ho-Oh last a very long time on the battlefield. And I think it's actually a lot better than people are thinking about it. It completely walls Precipice Blades, right? You can't get Precipice Blazed. You can't if you go against a Kyogre, you're both here at grass, but you have a Brave Bird. So you can get that read pretty easily. And it's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, even if they get you, right? You've got 150 special defense.
150 special defense behind screens. Right? So, it's pretty nutty, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of Pokemon that benefit from switching in and out, including Ho-Oh, right? You got the Incineroar, you got the Amoonguss, you got all kinds of stuff. That's actually pretty tech.
Oh god, it actually sounds like quite a good balance mod now.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
no.
it's pretty good. Like, it's a lot better than people are expecting it.
I'm opening it.
It'll burn everything, right? Because you got the secret fire. You want to hear the extra spicy tech? You run a howl Pokemon next to it. So like Clear Amulet Ho-Oh.
Oh, I keep forgetting that it's physical.
It's a physical attacker.
It just doesn't feel like a physical mon.
You run a howl Pokemon next to it, right? And then you just play control, and you sit there and protect the queen, and you're solid.
I've just been inspired.
Go try it for everybody out there. Like, I probably won't bring it to a regional, but if I do, I just spoiled everything. But I think that's the.
Nah, you've just outed like the regional winning team.
Dude,
happen.
I'm not gonna.
What's the next regional?
I'm not gonna. The next regional I think is Indianapolis.
Yeah,
I think the next regional is Indianapolis. If this comes out after Indianapolis, I'm so sorry everybody, but at the time of filming, the regional is Indianapolis. So we'll see.
And that's Ho's moment.
I'm sure Spectrier will win. I'm sure, or rather Calyrex. I'm sure Calyrex Shadow will win. Like, whatever, because somebody's gonna be really good with it, or they're gonna bring some sort of tech. But everybody's preparing for it, dude. So I don't know. Everybody's preparing for the Calyrex Shadow.
Ho probably beats Calyrex.
Ho does. Yep.
I mean, even if it's focused, actually just burn them.
It happens 50% of the time.
Damn. Wait, hold on. Hold on.
We can talk about it after the podcast. But for now, we're gonna wrap things up. Thank you so much, Joe Russell. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody follow 2Cake on X. And you don't have a YouTube channel or anything right now, do you? You want anything else you want to plug?
No.
All right.
It's yeah. It's It's the roll cake on Twitter.
The roll cake. My
That's
mistake. My mistake. The roll cake.
Nah, no, don't
All
worry.
right.
It also says 2Cake on it, so you'll know it.
Yeah.
Says both,
Yeah.
So
yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joe. We'll talk to you later.
It's amazing. I had a great time. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.